Grazie, grazie, grazie. And it's very good to be back in Italy, Bella Italia. I'm here for the first time in Bologna, but it's a beautiful place. Of course, all of us from foreign countries, including Washington, D.C., have actually been in Italy a number of times. So Italy is a very, very, very good location, very good destination, very happy to be here. Beautiful weather. Washington is very humid. It's very, very hot, humid. It's very good to be away from Washington, but it was better to be away from Washington about a year ago. Now, of course, we have a new president, and it's much nicer.
Okay.
Last 8 years, the worst years of my life. I'm out of Sweden, you might tell from my name. Went to Stockholm School of Economics back in the 60s, and went to America. I've been in America 40 years, and spent time on the West Coast, in the Midwest, and now on the East Coast. Done work on Japan. Japan used to be very strong. So in the 1980s, I did a lot of work on Japan. And then back now on international marketing, and back on what is actually an American advantage in some ways, the branding thing. So I'll talk about global branding and local branding. We don't have so much time, but I'll try to get through this fairly quickly so you can hear from the other people. And we have a presentation on overheads, and I guess I'll go through that, and then if you ask questions, we ask questions afterwards, and so on and so on. So it's good to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is about local brands and global brands and the equity in the international market. Outline, I have a fairly long presentation. I'll try to cut it down. First, about why consumers say brands are not important, that they're not important. Number two, how customers bias their perceptions according to the brand. How brand is important in all product categories, which is surprising maybe. How global brands are weaker than we think. Global brands is not everything. The soft equity of local brands and how you should defend a local brand. And I think especially the last part is of interest to maybe the audience in Italy. So this is number one, what customers say. It's amazing that when you ask people, and this is not just in the US, but I think around the world, the brand is not important. Branding is not important to people. You ask them why they buy a product, they will say it's because it's reliable, it's very good value, it's high quality. And how important is the brand? The brand is not important, I don't care about that. It's very common, they deny that. What we find in our research, we do research on this, of course, at the universities. The same market research finds that when customers don't know the brand, they use the brand as a cue, and evaluations shift downwards. So there's a fair amount of tests in electronics, in automobiles, where you show the automobile without the brand showing, and people actually think it's not a good automobile. You show the brand, it makes a difference. You know this if you think about it. It's just that people don't acknowledge this. There's a lot of research going on that shows the same thing. Without a brand, you cannot judge a product. And about consumer preferences and tastes, we find that people say, I really like Coca-Cola, or I really like Pepsi-Cola. People say, I can't drink Pepsi, I can't drink Coke. It's not true. They just need the brand to tell them how to taste. Think about it, it's amazing. The people actually, without seeing the can, they cannot say this tastes good or not. Beer, many of you maybe drink beer, or in America many people drink beer. I don't know about Italy so much, but in beer, same thing happens. People say, I like Budweiser maybe. Budweiser is very different. What this picture shows is how different Budweiser is from other beers. You have heard of Guinness, I think. Back in America, we have something called Pabst Blue Ribbon and Miller Lite. And people say it's a big difference. When they don't see the can, they cannot tell the difference. So people say brands doesn't matter. Brands actually don't matter. I don't care about brand. But they cannot taste, and when they don't know the brand, when brand is not familiar, they come down. Very strong effect, very consistent. And then people say you cannot brand anything but luxury products. In luxury products, of course, we know brand is important. Italy has a number of luxury products, Gucci, Armani, big brands, Ferragamo, luxury products. Yes, brand is important. Even consumers say brand is important. What we're finding is brand is not only important for luxury, it's brand for average products. And number two, people say for B2B, business to business, brand is not important. It is important. It's the same thing. I'll go through that. Utilitarian products, the choices are influenced by brand because of competition. When you have competition, and competition is very intense, you can no longer have product differentiation. You cannot differentiate your product on functional characteristics. Because when you have an advantage on functional characteristics, competition will copy. This we learned from the Japanese. The Japanese will benchmark, reverse engineer, and do a Me Too product. So if you have a better product, a competitor will have to have a better product too. So the only thing that remains is the brand. So you have a company in this country called Barilla that actually have branded pasta. You know, of course, very well. The Levitt Harvard professor 20 years ago said, anything can be differentiated if you differentiate your brand. The brand will work. And here's Barilla, results on Barilla. This is Barilla's, this is research out of, I think out of Rome that I found. We have similar research in the US, but I thought this is useful. When people say, what pasta do you like? Many people say, I like, as you can see, Barilla. I don't know if you can read, but Barilla is liked. And some of the others, Voyello. I don't know. It's a brand I don't know, actually. This is when they are asked simply, what kind of pasta do you like? And then when they get to test the taste, this is how it works. Without the brand, people don't know how it tastes. Amazing. It's Italians. Sorry. We're the same. I mean, we're the same, actually. Business to business, you don't think brand maybe is important. Brand is important. The biggest thing in B2B for brand is not liking, you know, affect, emotion, but it is familiarity. The word familiarity is very important. If your brand is unfamiliar, it is really not good. IBM does a lot of advertising. I don't know if you remember Think. Reflexione, I think, is the Italian version of that. There's an old famous ad. I don't know who you are. I don't know your company. I don't know your company's product. I don't know what your company stands for. I don't know your company's customers, your record, the reputation, and you want to sell something. Familiarity is very important. And the familiarity is familiarity with the brand. So again, the brand is important. This is that ad you might have seen.